Hello, everybody. I'm Lisa Shield, and I am so excited to see you all today. I have a wonderful topic for everybody. And I think that this is going to be really hit home for a lot of you. And this is this the right relationship for you? Let's find out. So many of you get into relationships or you're dating a guy and you question if somebody is right for you. It's a big issue. It's hard to tell. And I am going to, I'm going to share this in a few groups and then I will be good to go. So give me one moment. I just want to share this to my groups. I'm just going to share it quickly. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to just go ahead, and share this to a couple of my groups, and then we will dive in and we will explore this topic. There are 5 questions you can ask yourself to figure this out. And I think it's really important that you all know these because you will waste time just spinning your wheels in these relationships, and it's a terrible thing. The one thing we don't have is time to waste. And it's tough enough, but then getting into the wrong relationships and just staying in them is not a good thing. And we've all been there, right? Like I've been in plenty of relationships. I stayed in a 13-year marriage. If I had asked myself these 5 questions, oh my goodness, it would have saved me so much time and trouble. I would have left my husband way sooner than I did. So we want to help you make sure that you are not wasting time in your relationships and that you get clear. And especially in the dating stage, right? You don't want to be dating a guy that you're on the fence about and spending lots and lots of time doing that and wondering what the heck is going on. So, well, we have somebody here. I don't know how I got on your list, but I'm new here. So tell me a little bit about what you do. So my name is Lisa Shield, and I'm a love coach. I've been doing this work for over 2 decades, and I have helped thousands of women find what I call guardian of your soul relationships. So I work with single women who are looking for love and want to find extraordinary men. My work isn't about just finding any guy, it's about finding the guy. So great to have you here. Thank you so much. I love to hear your comments in the chat. So please feel free to comment because I am watching everybody. All right. So today's topic, 5 questions that will change how you see your relationship. So staying in a relationship or dating somebody who you feel uncertain about is like being stuck in limbo and you're neither fully in or fully out. And this can really weigh on your heart. A lot of you don't want to string men along. You feel like you're, hey, home creation modeling, nice to see you here. So many of you don't want to stick around with men and lead them on. And at the same time, you've got to give these guys a chance to grow on you. I am a proponent of not jumping into anything. I think that real relationships build from the ground up, not from the top down. Most of us have been, we grew up on Disney fantasies and myths and all kinds of things that make us believe that we're just going to meet this special person and fall madly in love and live happily ever after. And if you've ever met some special guy where you had instant chemistry and you fell in love, probably you didn't live happily ever after. So it's very important that you give your relationships time to grow. It takes time for two people to really get to know each other. I have the most wonderful friend here in Santa Fe. We've become friends very recently, and it has been an investment of time. We have had to make each other a priority. We go out to dinner quite often, probably once a week or once every 2 weeks. But having invested that time, we have become such dear, close friends. And when the first time I met her, we were actually laughing because she was thinking about going through coaching training. And I was a coach, and a mutual friend connected us. And she said, you were kind of, disdainful the first time we met. And you were like, oh, so you want to be a coach? And she was teasing me about that. But if we hadn't gotten together and invested that time, and if we hadn't grown the friendship, we wouldn't be where we are. So all relationships take time to grow. And you can't just assume that when you meet somebody right away that, oh my God, this is my person. So how many of you, I'd love to hear from some of you who are listening in, who here has had that, oh my God, you meet somebody and then you are just over the moon and you don't know what happened, but maybe 3 weeks or 3 months or 3 years later, you look back and you think, oh my God, what was I thinking? Has anybody had that happen? So you have to give these relationships time to grow. And what often happens is it's so uncomfortable for us to do that. And every day you're in that relationship, that was you. Yeah, I've been there so many times. Yeah. Yep. Shah says, yes. I'm sure everybody's gone through that. Well, the hard part is that sometimes you meet somebody and you really want it to work. It's not like you're there and you're just wasting someone's time or wasting your own time. You want it to work and you're torn between holding on and letting go. Hello, Rebecca. Great to see you here. And you're torn but in these two places between holding on and letting go. And being in this indecisive place keeps you from experiencing peace and joy and true connection. And so when you're up in your head and you're just going through, well, is this the right guy? And how do I tell? And am I just wasting my time? And why am I not feeling certain things? So I met my wife and it was love at first sight. And we were together 5 years and then she passed away. I'm so sorry to hear that. I really am. And yeah, that's a heartbreak. I know I love my husband and I often think about losing him and what that's like. So my condolences. I know it's so hard to lose, to let go or lose somebody that you loved so much. Well, if you're uncertain and you are in a relationship with somebody and you are second guessing everything, your feelings, their actions, the future, and you find yourself scrutinizing their words and behavior, and you're searching for clues or a sign if you should stay or go. And there really is, I think it's important to talk about, there is a very high price to pay for staying in an uncertain relationship. And there are a number of things, right? it takes an emotional toll on you. So doubt breeds anxiety, and anxiety is stressful, and that does nothing to help you get clarity in the relationship. And then there's lost time. Every moment that you spend with the wrong person is a moment that's stolen from finding the right one. So we know that when we stay in the wrong relationship, like I mentioned earlier, I was 13 years with my ex-husband. It can mean months or years of our lives that slip by, and there's no progress. And part of the reason there's no progress is because we're having this inner dialogue. We're trying to get clarity around whether or not we should be in this relationship, and it's creating anxiety. And that is not the place from which you can actually connect with somebody. So it's extremely, extremely stressful. And then if you are not certain about a relationship or somebody that you're dating, when you're emotionally tied to one person, it can keep you closed off from other possibilities. So you're caught up in trying to figure things out with that person, and you don't even notice, or men that are looking at you, or you don't pursue other opportunities. And so you're just stuck. And then the last thing, and this was something that after I got out of my marriage, I remember laying on my bed sobbing. And it was because even though I was in a relationship, I felt so deeply lonely, right? So that uncertainty made me feel more alone than being single. And if you're in a relationship and you don't feel truly connected, there's this illusion that there's someone there, but you feel disconnected from that person. And that's an even emptier feeling than just being alone. I don't know if any of you have been through that, but it's a horrible, horrible feeling. So one of the hardest truths to face is that your uncertainty usually reflects a part of you that knows something isn't right. You know that something isn't right when you're questioning the relationship and you feel uncertain. And ignoring that voice might feel easier. We have the real the real McCoy says, yes, I have in 20 years of marriage. I get it, girlfriend. I don't know about you. I didn't even have children with my ex-husband. So there was no reason for me to have stayed except that I was afraid. I was just afraid to leave. And there were good things I knew about him that I knew I'd be letting go of. I mean, he was funny as hell, and he was creative, and, we led an exciting life. But inside of that, I was miserable. And I don't know if you were, but I know I was. So ignoring that voice, it may feel easier in the short term, but the truth is it prolongs the pain. And every day that you stay in an ambiguous situation is a day you could have spent moving toward the love that you really want. I did stay because I was afraid to be alone. I didn't know how to find a great partner. I had really struggled. I don't know if some of you have been through this, but I struggled to find a man that I really connected with when I was younger. And I had such an incredible connection. My husband and I, or my ex-husband and I, we both met in a graduate program, a photography school that we both went to. And we really connected. We had this incredible relation, just connection. And we were both going to school, and it was very exciting. And we both became fashion photographers. And so it was hard to leave all that. And I didn't know if I'd meet someone else. I was very afraid that I would be alone for the rest of my life. Unfortunately, yes, I had 3 children, but divorced now and feel like I wasted half my life. Well, it doesn't have to be that way. I promise you. you can discover how to have an amazing relationship and really go out and be intentional this time about finding the right person. And that's really what great coaches can show you how to do. So if you're not following me, please go to lisashield.com or look for, I think my Instagram is Lisa Shield Love Coach. But please follow me and just soak up as much as you can. You know, I'm not the kind of coach who just comes on here and sort of gives you overviews. I really dig in deep when I do these, these talks, these Instagram, Facebook lives, when I do my podcasts. I really do share from my heart, and I'm not giving you superficial information. I want to help you. And whether you work with me or not, it is important. You know, I just don't want women to go through what I went through and what many of you have gone through and then throw up their hands and say, well, there's no good men. I wasted half my life. I'm not going to go through that kind of pain again and give up on love. We have to learn from our mistakes. We have to learn how to find wonderful men because they are out there. And finding a truly extraordinary partner is the most amazing gift we can possibly give ourselves. So please don't give up on love and go to Lisa Shield, follow me, and soak up this information. So it is an act of self-love to get clear. And it might mean having hard conversations or even walking away from a relationship. But the freedom and the empowerment that come from making a decision like that completely outweigh the torment of staying stuck. So you have to dig deep. You have to trust yourself to seek what's right for you. And you have to know that you're worth it. So you've got to get clear. One of the worst feelings is to spend time in a relationship or dating a guy that you're uncertain of. So I have 5 powerful questions, just five questions that can help you gain clarity and understand what's really going on so that you don't stay stuck in a relationship and just keep wasting precious time. And yeah, the struggle is real, and it's never too late to get this solved and find true love. No matter what your age is, I want you all to know I have clients in their late 70s who find true love for the first time. So these 5 questions that I offer my clients, and I'm offering you now, are going to help you stop second guessing and understand what's really going on and decide if this relationship or this man that you're dating is really worth your time and trouble. 45 is a great age to meet your guy. I met my husband when I was 41. So think about it. We've been together now for 22 years. When you're 45, you have so many good years ahead of you to spend with this man. So that's a wonderful age to meet him. So you need to assess if you're chasing a fantasy or you're building a real connection and whether this guy brings out your best self. So the first question you need to ask yourself is, do I feel seen and valued by this man? Do I truly feel seen and valued by him? So it is important that the man that you're with, the partner that your husband or the man that you're dating recognizes your worth and makes you feel appreciated. So if he dismisses your feelings or he doesn't prioritize you or he's not making an effort to make you happy, to take care of you, to protect you, to take you on beautiful dates, to make you feel important, he's probably not your guy. And in my program, which is called Emotionally Naked Dating, this is my course that I teach where women come in and we transform you, and then we show you how to find the guardian of your soul. in this course, feeling seen and valued is a non-negotiable. So if someone isn't meeting you there, it's time to take a hard look at why you're staying or why you're continuing to date that man. Is anybody going through that, dating somebody who isn't showing up, where you feel like you're having to come up with the ideas, where you're having to put in all the effort, where he's not going from just texting or messaging on the site and not getting to a Zoom call or a date? If that's going on and you really feel like you're doing all the work on your end and this guy just isn't advancing things, get out of there. It took me a long time to find the guy that really pursued me and showed up for me. But once you have that dynamic, you'll never go back, because you see the difference between a man who's really making an effort and making you a priority and a man who's stringing you along. There's a word or an expression that I love, and it's from this expression is from 12-step, and it's called intriguing, where a man is intriguing. And what they do is they seem intrigued by you, but they don't have any interest in really getting to know you. They like flirting, they like communicating, they get on text and they seem intrigued and interested, and it's called intriguing, but they have no interest in actually going on a date or having, seeing if there's the potential for a relationship. So if any of those things are happening, or you're working too hard in the relationship, or you feel lonely in the relationship because this man is not making the effort and putting in the time to really advance this, get out of there. It's not the right guy for you. The next question is, are we building a connection or chasing a fantasy? Are we building a connection or chasing a fantasy? So the second question is, am I connecting with the real person in front of me, or am I falling in love with their potential? How many of you have fallen in love with potential? I know I have. You meet a guy and you think he's so wonderful, and you project all your fantasies onto this guy, and you imagine how great this could be, rather than really focusing on who this man really is. Yes, Rebecca said yes. Right. This is what we do, ladies. We meet these guys and we build them up, and we want to imbue them with these superpowers, and we put them on a pedestal. And we especially do this with men who we really, really, really do this with men who are good looking, who have really cool jobs. We take these guys that we think are, these like amazing men, and then we give them, we put them on a pedestal because they're good looking, they're cool, they have a job. Hi, Fariba, good to see you here. Hello, hello. Yes, it happens a lot online, all the freaking time. And this is a shame, because I see this so much with my clients, and I've gone through and, looked at all the guys with them, like on Bumble or on Match or whatever, and we'll go through profiles. I had the most hysterical thing happen with one client. We were going through her feed. She was on Bumble, and, she would swipe left and swipe left. Oh, this guy lives too far, and this guy, has 3 kids and whatever. And she kept swiping left and left and left. And then this guy came up in her feed, and she thought he was really hot. And he lived just as far away as about 6 of the other guys who she said lived too far away, and that she wasn't going to have another long distance relationship. But she was like, oh, he's hot. And without even thinking, she swiped right on him. So this is what we do. If a guy's hot, if he has a cool job, whatever it is that we like, if we like cowboys or if we like, CEOs, whatever that thing is, we take those guys and we put them on a pedestal. And I will tell you that I have seen more CEOs who have strung women along, and they'll go on a date and then they'll just text them for a month until they find the time to go out on another date. And those women will make that okay. They'll just make excuses for these guys. And the guys have no interest. They're not making them a priority. But because the guy's a CEO and he's got a great career and they love what he's up to in the world, well, it doesn't matter if you don't have a guy that's showing up. And so you have to stop projecting all of these positive qualities and putting these guys on pedestals. You cannot do that. You have to treat every single guy you date as equal. So let's see here. Even if it seems unlikely that a relationship would work out, especially if they live far away, etc. Yeah, it happens a lot online, and we do this. So I've learned a lot. It is not about how we feel about them, but how they make us feel about ourselves. Absolutely, Fariba. You want a man that makes you feel like a queen, that makes you feel wonderful about yourself, and where it's genuine. He's not just using words, but he's following it up with his actions. So instead of focusing on their potential, you really have to look at how they're showing up in the here and now. And this is another thing that we really do teach our clients in the Emotionally Naked Dating program. If you're chasing a fantasy, you're just going to set yourself up for disappointment. And again, you're going to waste more precious time. The third question you want to ask yourself, and I talked about this a little earlier, is, am I giving more than I'm getting? So it's okay. Some of you, a lot of women pride themselves on being givers. That's what women do. We give and give and give. We take care of our kids. We take care of our parents. We pride ourselves on being generous with our friends. But you really have to step back and stop doing that for people, and especially for men who don't reciprocate. So you want to ask yourself, am I over-investing in this relationship? Am I initiating all the plans? Am I always the one who's compromising or accommodating? And the only way to find out if a man is going to pursue you is to stop pursuing men. You can encourage them. You can do what I call taking the feminine lead, which is something that we teach our clients in our Emotionally Naked Dating course. You can encourage men to come to your side of town, to take you out, to a club that you've been wanting to go to, or to hear live music. Or one of my clients today was so excited because the man that she is dating, he took her dancing. And she said, Lisa, my ex-husband never even took me dating in 16 years together. So you want to put it out there. You want to take the feminine lead and let a man know what he can do to make you happy, and then sit back and see if he does those things. So if you're initiating all the plans, or you're always the one who's compromising and accommodating him, you have to look at that. And then the fourth question is, do I feel like my best self with this person? That's what Fariba wrote. How do I feel when I'm with him? Does this relationship bring out the best in me? So the right relationship should, make you happier. It should make you feel more confident. It should raise your self-esteem, not diminish it. You shouldn't be questioning and second-guessing yourself. I know a lot of you, what I'm about to say may feel familiar if you've ever dated a narcissist or somebody who really put you down or gaslit you. You know what that's like. I remember being in relationships where I felt so insecure, and I would always wonder if I would say or do the wrong thing. What if he has anxiety? Um, Gigi, I need to know more about that. If a man has anxiety, he may bring up, a lot, usually in relationships, if you're avoidant, you may attract anxious men. I don't know if that's true, if this is unique to this relationship, or if you have a habit of attracting men with anxiety, or if this is a one-off. Sometimes there's a pattern there that he's, where you are both like two opposite sides of the same coin. Rebecca said, I realized I was attracting relationships where I was overgiving and they were happy to take it. Yeah, these guys will just take it. And there's a lot of men who will string you along or breadcrumb you. And that's what they do. I realized I had to value myself and see my own worth rather than overriding my own needs. Beautiful, Rebecca. And you have to raise that bar, and then you have to hold that bar high. You have to keep it there. You cannot compromise because some guy comes along who's hot, or you're lonely or bored or scared. So he can't make up his mind. Gigi, you want someone who's sure about you. You want a man who knows that he wants to be with you. And if a man can't make up his mind, don't waste time on him while he tries to figure it out, especially if you've been dating him for a while. You walk away and you say, look, if I'm single, when you figure out what you really want, then we'll revisit this and we'll see. But a lot of times when somebody can't make up their mind, they can be avoidant and they just don't really want a relationship and they don't want to have both feet in, or they can't. Susan said, can you guide about long distance relationships? Susan, I can talk about that, and I'll do a separate broadcast about long distance relationships. But yes, that's a whole other thing. And a lot of my clients, their relationships do start out long distance, but you do have to be very, very careful. And there has to be two people who are putting in the same amount of effort. So even if you fly out to see him and he's not coming out to see you, he has to be willing to get you a ticket, or meet you halfway, or there has to be two people who are both engaging. It can't be, all about you coming to see him and you making all the effort. You have to both make mutual effort. So if you are shrinking in the relationship or constantly doubting yourself, you've got to reevaluate what you're doing there. This man should bring out the best in you, and you should feel amazing when you're with him, and he should feel amazing when he's with you. And it shouldn't be fake. This is not that, oh my God, we're two special people. This isn't an instant chemistry kind of thing. If you ever hear me talk about my husband, I say the most beautiful things about him. And this is 22 years into this relationship because I love this man with all my heart and soul. I think he's the greatest human being I've ever met in my life. And that's me talking 22 years into this relationship. So Gigi said, I meant he always changes his mind. Let's do this, let's do that. So is he changing his mind, Gigi, about you, about the relationship? What is he changing his mind about? Because it sounded like 1 minute he was, he likes you, he doesn't like you, he wants a relation, he's not sure about you. And if a man isn't sure about how he feels about you, you cannot stay in that relationship. What about a guy who says he really feels connection with you, but says he doesn't know what is stopping him or feels fear about moving forward? Rebecca, he needs to go get therapy and figure it out. When a man is sure about you, you will know it. And when a man is secure, so there are 3 attachment styles: anxious, avoidant, and secure. A secure man knows what he wants and he will go for it. That's what a secure man does. And a mature man is not going to string a woman along and be, and straddle the fence. They do that because you let them do that. A woman who knows her value will not put up with that from a man. And I know you may make all kinds of excuses for these men, but if they are not sure about you, then they need to figure it out, especially if you've been dating them for more than 3 months. If you're past the 3-month mark and these guys are still saying, well, I don't know, and maybe, and whatever, why are you wasting your time? You're looking for somebody where you're progressing something together. And if you have a person in a relationship who's saying to you, well, I'm not sure, and I don't know what's blocking me, do you all understand that that blocks the intimacy? If a man is saying, well, I like you and I just don't understand why, what's going on with me, how can you trust him? How can you open up your heart to this man? How can you create a real connection, especially if you're having sex with this man? If you're sexually intimate, it is soul crushing to be sexual with a man who's telling you he's not sure about you. That's devastating. Rebecca said, what about a guy? So Gigi said, no, nor me. Let's go to this restaurant. Then he says, no, then, oh, well, that's different. But, yeah, that would just be nerve-wracking to be with a guy who can't make up his mind. I know it sounds like I'm very black and white about some of these things, but that's clarity. That's not me being rigid. That's me offering you 22 years of doing this work and being clear about what works and doesn't work. And if you're wasting your time on men who are not as excited about you as you are about them, I'm not telling you about forcing things and rushing things and all of that, but I am talking about 2 people who are have both feet in, and both people agree that yes, we're exploring a relationship together, and you're both on the same page. So the 5th question you want to ask yourself is this person emotionally and practically available for a relationship? So are they emotionally available? And is his life at a place where he can have a relationship? So again, if they're inconsistent or if they avoid deeper conversations or making a commitment to you, this person isn't at a place where he can have a relationship or the kind of relationship that you really should be looking for with a man. So an emotionally naked dater, the women in my course, they're looking for someone who's ready and willing to build a future with them. And if they're not showing up fully, it's okay to let them go and make space for someone who is. So let's go over those questions quickly, okay? Do I feel seen and validated? Are we building a connection or am I chasing a fantasy? Am I giving more than I'm getting? Or am I giving more than I'm receiving? Do I feel like my best self with this man? And is this man truly available emotionally and practically for a relationship? So you all deserve a man who sees your worth and who meets you with equal effort, where you're building a relationship and hopefully a life together. So do not settle for less, ladies. Do not settle for less, and drop a comment, below if any of these questions resonated with you. Or you can even send me a message at hello@lisashield.com, or you can go to Lisa Shield Coaching, which is my Instagram, or you can go to Lisa Shield Dating and Relationships on Facebook. Or if you really want to book a call with me, with a member of my team, you can go to lisashieldlove.com/app-FB Live. And it's right there in front of me if you want to book a call with my team to see how we can help you find true love. Thank you all so much for being here. This was so much fun. And thank you, Fariba and Rebecca and Gigi and everybody else who commented, and Home Creation Remodeling. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And Shah 007, I so appreciate you. Please come back and see me again. Follow me on Instagram, on Facebook, and tell everybody you know about this, okay? My program is called Emotionally Naked Dating. And the last thing I want to say is, if you want me to do a talk on any topic like long distance relationships, send your suggestions to hello@lisashield.com. I get my best suggestions from you. Enjoy the rest of your evening. I will be back again soon. And I hope this was really valuable for all of you. Bye, Fariba. It's so good to see you. Sending you a huge hug. And Rebecca, you are so, so, so welcome. Bye, everybody. Bye-bye.